Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I want to show you a Regirock deck, a winning Regirock deck. Look, I've been very honest with you guys. I have told you since the card was revealed that Regirock V was my favourite of the Pokemon V. I wouldn't lie to you, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Regirock V is my boy. It is the one that I have really wanted to see work, that I really wanted to see be good, and we've got a winning deck. Is it good enough? Is it going to be taking over the format? I mean, as long as it's decent and viable, ladies and gentlemen, I am all the way in. Now, Regirock V, for those of you that may have forgotten, 1 fighting, 1 colourless energy, 30 damage, plus 10 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So it's got 220 HP to begin with. If your opponent doesn't go and get a one-hit KO, you can go and hit them back pretty hard. And then you've just got a standard free energy 190. No, it's not out and out phenomenal, but it's pretty gosh darned efficient. Plus, you are hitting a pretty good weakness. There's a bunch of stuff out there like Snorlax VMAX and Silvally that is seeing a bunch of play that you will be hitting for weakness. So that's quite nice. Now, it's not just a Regirock V deck, of course. We've also got Stonjourner V and Stonjourner V Max. Now, Stonjourner V I don't like as much as I do like Regirock. Free energy 150 is just worse. But you do have that really nice guard press attack, 1 fighting energy, 40 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, you take 20 less from attacks. That's not bad. That can lead to a little bit of tanking here and there. But the one thing Stonjourner really has going for it is Stonjourner V Max, which introduces a couple of other attacks. Firstly, you can just go free energy 200, which is only 10 more than Regirock, but then by the same token, you also get an extra 110 HP, which is probably nothing to be sniffed at. And then we also get the attack that for 1 fighting energy lets you attach an energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon and heal 120 from that Pokemon. Energy acceleration plus a fair bit of healing. Pretty gosh darn nice. Now, they're your big bad fighting attackers. There's only actually one other Pokemon in the deck. Well, there's 2, but they're both the same. Arceus and Dialga and Palkia Tag Team GX. Yeah, the Creation Trio is back. They have been at the centre of a bunch of decks since it came out, and they're here again. Now, there's actually 2 attacks here, and they're both pretty phenomenal in this particular deck. 1 water, 1 metal, 1 colourless, and you get to do 150 damage, search for free basic energy, and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you like. That's pretty gosh darned awesome because it gives you a really nice opportunity to get the energy onto these Pokemon. It lets you get the energy onto these fairly expensive Pokemon fairly easily. So that we like. But we've also got 1 water, 1 metal energy, and you do an extra 30 damage for all of your Pokemon for the rest of the game, and take an extra prize card for the rest of the game. You can just put 1 metal on and do an extra 30, or you can go water and metal and do an extra 30, plus take an extra prize every time you take a KO. I know which one I prefer. Biggest issue with this deck is lack of energy acceleration, and that is a potential issue here. Yes, once you've got free energy onto ADP, you can accelerate some energy, but you've got to get the free energy onto ADP in the first place, which is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. But that's where Stonjourner's single energy attack comes in rather nicely. Now, in terms of energy, obviously the majority of your energy here is going to be fighting. It kind of has to be. But we've also got a little bit of water for ADP, a little bit of metal for ADP, and Aurora Energy. Aurora Energy is that new one. It's like Rainbow Energy, but instead of taking a damage counter when you attach it, you have to discard a card from your hand. Very good card. And firstly, it's just really nice because it can be any type of energy you need. And secondly, well, I would say it's searchable with Guzma and Hala, but this deck doesn't actually play Guzma and Hala. What does it play? Well, it does play a tag team supporter. It plays Mallow and Lana. Mallow and Lana lets you switch and heal 120. You've already got Stonjourner V, which is really good at essentially blocking damage, and you've got a whole bunch of Pokemon that have huge HP but give up multiple prizes. Healing can be pretty gosh darn good here. We also see Cynthia and Caitlin. Lets you recover supporters plus draw cards, and because we've got a tag team supporter that's fairly important, and another one which is quite good, and a tag team Pokemon, we're playing a copy of Tag Call here to search them out. Now, the main supporter we really see here is actually Green's Exploration. Green's Exploration lets you search for any 2 trainer cards as long as you have no Pokemon in play with abilities. Well, you don't play any Pokemon with abilities. This isn't like the other Stonjourner V deck we looked at that has in DDV. I'll try and remember to link that one in the description. No, ladies and gentlemen, this one doesn't play any abilities, so search whichever trainer card you need. That sounds pretty gosh darned important. We also see 3 copies of Cynthia as pretty good shuffle draw, and then we've got Marnie here as well. Marnie is the one that's judged, but you get 5 cards, your opponent gets 4, and instead of putting the cards in your hand back into your deck, you put them on the bottom of your deck. It sees an awful lot of play in Japan. It's popping up in basically every deck. It's pretty gosh darn good. Now, we also see 2 copies of Giant Charm here. And Giant Charm is a great card in this particular deck. Gives your Pokemon an extra 30 HP. But we got Pokemon with giant HP, and we're playing a bunch of healing with both Mallow and Lana and Stonjourner V Max's attack. And we're giving up multiple prizes, so let's try not to get KO'd. And along a similar line, we're actually playing Giant Bomb here. Now, just the one, but Giant Bomb, if it's attached to your active Pokemon, and you would take 180 or more damage, you put 10 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Punishes them for big attacks, while also letting you get them closer to being KO'd. I mean, when they take 10 damage counters, Regirock will basically KO anything. That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, in terms of Pokemon search, we've got a couple of Quick Ball and a couple of Evolution Incense. Quick Ball for your basics, Evolution Incense for your evolutions. And it's really important to note here that because we're playing Green's Exploration, we don't need to play a huge amount of Pokemon search, because Green's Exploration's got your back. Though we do also play a couple of copies of Cherish Ball, which seems a little bit weird given that we are playing in total 10 Pokemon, and only 2 of them can be searched with Cherish Ball, but then you realise that you need ADP in the early game. It is an early game Pokemon, not a mid to late game Pokemon, and then it all starts to make just a little bit more sense. We do play Pokegear 3.0 to make sure we got the right supporter at the right time, but also increase our chances of a turn 1 Green's Exploration, which can be pretty important. We've got that 1 reset stamp that every deck plays. We've weirdly got 2 copies of Energy Search here, and Energy Search confuses me because Energy Search is literally Energy Spinner, except Energy Spinner on turn 1, if you go second, can search 3 energy, whereas Energy Search only ever searches 1. Other than that, they're the same, so I would personally go for Energy Spinner here. Maybe that's just me. It rarely makes a difference, but it's still a little bit weird. We do play a couple copies of Switch because you've got big Pokemon with high retreat costs. You need to get them out the active. We've got 4 copies of Custom Catcher. It is our gusting of choice. You need to play 2 at the same time, but you can gust anything, and it is worth pointing out here that you're playing Green's Exploration. That makes your life quite a bit easier, because you can search them both out at once. And then to finish off in terms of Stadium, we got 2 Viridian Forest, helps you search out your basic energy. Bearing in mind, you're playing 2 Water and 2 Metal, that could be important. And 2 copies of Martial Arts Dojo, because you do an extra 10 damage, or if you're behind on prizes, an extra 40 damage. Could be pretty gosh darn crucial with the whole doing enough damage to get KOs thing. I love this deck. And I'm incredibly biased because it's got Regirock in and it's got Stonjourner V in, and I love them both. Maybe it's not as good as I'm giving it credit for, but it's gone and won a tournament over in Japan, and it looks like an awful lot of fun, and it's a good deck with Regirock in. So ladies and gentlemen, I am 100% all the way in invested. This sounds like an awful lot of fun. But I'd like to know what you think about it. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, me nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are still pretty gosh darned awesome. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.